Welcome. Good morning. Well, it's not morning for you, but it's morning for a lot of my listeners. So a lot of my listeners are in America. So you have to, bear in mind that they're just waking up now. I have a mainly US audience, but please introduce yourself.
So I go by Mekimushi. I'm the director of Tuna Checking, and my goal has always been to educate Africans about Africa from African voices. We've always kept our goal simple. And when we started this in 2016, there were very few people doing what we are doing. But I'm so glad right now is that there's so many voices and there's so many channels, so many platforms, podcasts, news channels on all social media platforms that are doing what we are doing. And like one of my best saying is that like us, we've got 1 million subscribers and almost 500 million views, right? But I always go like, it's cool to have 1 million subscribers, but it's also cooler to have 1 million African creators, right? So
Right.
for me, I've always gone for inspiring other people to do what we do, because it's very easy to stifle, to block, to shadow ban one voice. It's almost impossible to do that to 1 million voices. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
No, 100%. 100%. Let me get us to dynamic. Hold on. Okay. So listen, everything you said I agree with. And also I wanted to even say thank you to you on live for supporting my platform, for reaching out to me. I really appreciate it, because there are a lot of people who, wouldn't do what you've done. For when I started, I had no view, no subscribers, but doing that for tiny creators, I really appreciate it. So I want to thank you. And also, I'm sure all my subscribers now on YouTube will thank you as well for supporting my platform and helping me get going. I very much appreciate that. And all of Nigeria appreciates Kenya for supporting us in Nigeria. But that being said, this is a very, very serious topic that, I wanted to bring you on today. And for people who are not aware of this, I asked while we were waiting that if they'd watched my first video. And it was the live I did that did really well, like 10,000 views in the first day, which for me is a lot for a live. And I realized how interested people are in that topic. And it's about the convention in Ghana that was cancelled a few hours before the convention took place. And listen, I didn't know some things that you alerted me to. In that show, we discovered that, listen, I knew about the masked man movement, the new force movement, and so forth. The fact that the individual Nana revealed himself the day before, so on and so forth. I also knew about the spokeswoman, the Belgian lady, and so on. But can you summarize from your perspective some of the things that the viewers and people who watch that thing may not be aware of?
Okay. So just to be concise, like this is what happened. There was this event organized by one organization called the New Africa Foundation that touted itself as a Pan-African group, and it invited 4 prominent Pan-Africanists from Malema to Pielo Lumumba to Dr. Arikana to Peter Obi, right? It was, the whole event was marketed as a Pan-African event, right? And knowing Ghana, where it's like knowing Kwame Nkrumah, the father of Pan-Africanism, and and all, it was perfect for it to be hosted in the Freedom Square, because that place has very huge relevancy in African history. So many important historical events have happened there. Like it's like kind of like in the future when kids are learning about how the Pan-African movement became successful and Africa got its actual independence. That one will be a sort of mecca, right? The Freedom Square, like the Freedom Square, the Ghanaian one, right? That will be a sort of mecca. It's kind of like a like I don't say holy or sacred land, but in Pan-Africanism, it's kind of an important imagery, right? So that was the event. Everything is okay. Like for me, I would have no problem with that, right? But what most people didn't know there was also another organization, still owned by the same person that you mentioned, right? Called the New Force Movement, that is a political party, but I can't even call it a political party because technically it's not registered in Ghana as a political party. So it's just a group, right? Or a movement, right? But they aspire to be a political party, and they wanted to take that clout to use those figures to link themselves with Pan-Africanism, so that they launch their platform, right, on Pan-Africanism, right? Yeah. And that's where, for me, there was something fishy, right? You cannot say you're doing this event and without telling your audience, without telling your crowd, you're also doing this other event, right, where they were doing the unmasking or something, right? And
Right.
majority of the guests technically found out like late, right? I'm sure I cannot confirm this, but I'm sure Peter Obi and Pilo and Dr. Rikana didn't know these things were related. They just thought they're going there for the Pan-African event, right? Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I think their names, their image, their brand were hijacked by an ambitious politician or an ambitious operator who tried to maybe skip the line and try to be like, oh man, I don't have years to build my Pan-African portfolio, my Pan-African CV. Let me just piggyback on these great names so that I appear as I've always been in the movement. I appear as I'm a leader in this movement. Yeah. So technically that's what happened, and technically that's what we had a problem with, right? We have no problem with Pan-African events, and something else also, uh, like like based on the narrative of the Ghanaian government, how everybody's bashing the Ghanaian government that, oh, they're trying to squash Pan-Africanism in Ghana, Pan-Africanism in Africa. That doesn't make sense because Pan-Africanism has been the MO of the current sitting Ghanaian government, right? This Ghanaian government got into office because they were all
Right.
Pan-Africanists. Nana Addo was always in speeches talking about majority of Africa, right? Nana Addo is not a nationalist; he's a Pan-Africanist, right? He he presents himself to be a Pan-Africanist. So if you present yourself to be a Pan-Africanist, will it make sense for you to go against Pan-Africanism, right? All these leaders, presidents, MPs, politicians, they've got a group behind them. They've got political analysts, right? They've got media people behind them, right? So it wouldn't make sense for the media people to tell this guy, hey, you see this huge Pan-African event that will get huge media coverage. Go and mess
Right.
it up. Go mess up your name for no apparent reason that technically none of those people, like those four guests, are even enemies of the Ghanaian government. That's why they chose
Right.
Ghana to
Right.
begin with, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's why they chose Ghana to begin with, because Ghana is a friendly country, right? Like
Right.
they didn't go to Morocco to launch their Pan-African movement. They didn't go to Egypt. They didn't go to which other, like some of these francophone countries, right? Yeah, like they didn't go to Nigeria to
Right.
to to do that. yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they chose Ghana for a reason. And the thing that pisses me off is that when whatever happened, the first reaction for everybody, right, was to blame the Ghanaian government without getting the broader picture of what went down, right?
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, these guys, they're being directed by the West, or these guys are being uh, touted, or Nana Addo is squashing political dissent.
Right.
Nana Addo doesn't want it's called what, to be challenged.
Right.
Nana Addo is a dictator, right? So Ghana got so much flack for something that, even if like think about it, right? Let's say like you've got kids, all right? They go like, hey dad, I'm going to host a party, like in my house. Do you have permission, right?
Right.
Like I go like, yeah, sure, like who's coming? It's who and who are coming, right? You go like,
Right.
like I know those people, right? Like they're cool people. Bring them
Right.
over, right? So when the party is already starting, like you're seeing guests come, you're starting to see some people you don't know. You're starting to see some funny people. As a responsible parent, what will you be like? You'll be like, hey, hold on, this is not what
Right.
you asked, like you got permission for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So hold on, stop the event. Let's see who's coming in this, right? So for me, I think it's just like that. Maybe the only criticism I can give to the Ghanaian government is that they got bamboozled, they got tricked by these groups, two groups, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah. They found out too late that these two things are related, right? Because there
Right.
were months of campaigns of this unveiling the guy. Nobody in the government put two to two. This unveiling of the mask is related to this convention, right?
You know
Even the
what's
guests
funny is
didn't
that
know.
even Nana,
Mm,
I watched his interview.
mhm,
I don't know whether he's telling the truth or not in relation to this point, because he said
mhm,
when they gave him the refund of 10,000 cedis,
mhm,
he said that that refund should have been for 30,000 because that's how much he paid, and
mhm,
that when he made the booking, he made it under the new force booking. And
mhm,
when they refunded the money, they refunded it to another entity. I can't remember the name that he gave. He gave another name of
mhm,
when the government refunded it without naming it. And he said, why would they use a different name? Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just pretend that he's telling the truth. Let me just say he's telling the truth.
mhm,
The issue I see with this is not so much that New Force were doing an event. The
mhm,
issue I see with it is that they didn't realize what the connection between him, this
mhm,
event, and those four people was going to be till the day before when he revealed himself as this guy. And I think the government were like, oh my goodness. So
mhm.
this thing that we already sanctioned is actually a political movement to become
Yeah,
president against our government. And
yeah.
we've given them a foundation to use our platform, which is Pan-Africanism, because
Mm,
they're the Pan-Africanists. So how are we
mm.
going to give you a platform to use four Pan-Africanists from around the continent to come and launch your party to go against us? And we didn't even know what was happening. That's what
And
I kind of see. That's how I sort of see what, in my opinion.
And also with that thought, just keep that thought, right? Like what you did. So in Ghana and any other country, the rules when you are doing things, right? Right. If you're launching
Oh,
a
sorry.
political
Let me
party,
qualify. Sorry. Obiaman is right. Sorry, there are two nanas. Okay,
yeah,
there's
yeah, oh,
Nana.
yeah,
There's
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
So yes, you're right. Yes. Okay,
yeah,
I'm talking about the new force one. Okay, go on.
yeah. Just call him is Abieko or something.
Abieko. Okay, we will call him
Yeah,
Abieko from now. Yeah.
yeah. So just to touch on that point, right? In Ghana and any other country, like let's say in the UK, right? You want to start a political party, the Pan African political party. There are forms you need to sign, there are permissions you need to get, there are rules you need to follow in any civil government, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the documents, like you need to get approval, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it's that the way they did things is that like the government was like, hey, this guy is launching his political party's political movement without doing it in the proper channels. Like you get right. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
just go in any other country. Even if you do a protest, you must go to the county council or the authorities and say, I need a permit to do a protest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
so 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 it's like you're given that permit. You're like, okay, protest on the 17th of October, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then instead of doing a protest, like you do a press conference launching like, I want to be the president of England, right?
Right.
I
Right.
don't think that will go well with any sitting government, right?
Right.
Because those what you got had its own rules and its own way of how you can operate, right? So you can get permission for doing this event, and you do a switcheroo, and you're doing this event, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like that's the thing of So maybe it might not be illegal, like I don't know Ghanaian government, like Ghanaian
Right.
laws, yeah.
Right.
But it's that kind of disingenuity that is
Right.
giving me red flags about this guy, right?
There is something there. Okay, so now good. Let me get into that. There are two things I personally have a problem with on the surface with his movement, the new force movement or whatever it is. Two things. The first factor is that I listened to his interview. I read up on it. I did my research now. So I'm coming with information. Now I know what the deal is. The new force movements do not have policies. They have no policies. They have no manifesto. They have no platform that they're running on. It's just platitudes. It's buzzwords. The future.
And
the movement.
And it's not a political party, technically.
No, yeah, no,
I've
technically.
not done the paperwork.
Let us even forget the political party thing. Even a movement has policies. Like, this is what we're trying to do. These are the things we're trying to change. He has none of that. All it is that he put up these posters with the masks and said, the future, the new generation, and you're like, okay, this is cool. This is fine. It's getting people excited. What does this mean? What could it mean? But there is absolutely no substance behind it. And when I listened to his interview, and he spoke constantly about marketing, this is marketing. I'm like, yes, you're marketing, but what are you marketing? What are you actually selling to people? So what people have gotten excited about is nothing. They're excited about a bag that you don't even know what's in the bag. You have no idea what's going on. And they've said that, in very soon, we are going to officially release our policy plan. And I think, how do you not start with your policies? How can you have a movement where you say that, down the line, we will let you know what the movement is actually about, but join our movement and then we'll let you know what the movement is. Have you ever heard of such a thing? But that is, but the problem is, this is where I'm coming from. Africa is so desperate. The people have been so downtrodden, have been so abused, that if they see anybody that says that, listen, I'm your salvation. And this goes to my next point of what I don't like about this guy. He's constantly talking about himself. How he's a messiah, how he's been chosen, how he's been anointed, how people are telling him he's the future, how people are telling him he's like Kwame Nkrumah, Mandela, whatever. He's talking like he's a WWF wrestler. This is like a promo from Royal Rumble or something when I'm listening to it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, come on, look, for Africa, we've had that before. We are not going into a future where the new generation, this guy's my age. He's like, we're the same age. We're going into a future where the young guys, the young leaders are talking like the old leaders. It doesn't matter you saying that, we are going against corruption, we're going against these things, but you're speaking like an arrogant person. You're speaking,
even worse than speaking, imitating. As in, like even there's a picture of him where he's wearing kind of like a military general uniform with a.
I saw that.
Which one? Like is imitating like the dictators of the past, right? Like I want that image, as in it's cool, right?
It's called delusions of grandeur. That is the phrase, delusions of grandeur. What I see in this guy is like, you have an idea, you have a concept in your mind of what you want to be. That doesn't have anything to do with the people. You are an entrepreneur, investment guy from real estate. But then you are now coming, and your next big conquest is to be this magnanimous African leader. And you're bamboozling everybody into thinking, because like I said, if you are a leader, do you know what the difference is? Look at Julius Malema. Look at the difference. Him and Julius are the same age.
Yep.
This is about the same age. Julius comes with substance. You know what his platform is. You know what he's fighting for. You know what he's fighting against. Every single time you hear this man speak, he's telling you exactly what he's trying to do. You are not confused with Julius.
Yep.
Peter Obi, you're not confused.
Yeah, true.
Whether you agree with Peter Obi or not, you know what he's saying. PLO Lumumba, everything that he does is about what he's saying. He's not even, his whole platform is about substance. Arikana, the same thing. So the reason why I'm saying this is that what it's shown me, the fact that a young man can come in and not give you anything and create this veneer of the future, and people actually get behind you, people actually support you, people shows how dangerous things are for Africans and for Africa. That if it's not for people like you and Tuna Cheke platform, people like what I'm doing and a lot of other content creators who are saying everybody, guys, hold on, let's think about what's happening here. We'd be in trouble. Think about it. If we didn't have these platforms to make people say, pause, stop, listen and think about what you're doing. This is how easily people get wrapped up in other things. And now for that, I want to pull up something. I want to pull up something. Guys, what I'm going to pull up here, we're going to talk about this. Okay. Now, let me put this in the proper context. All right, everybody. We have not suddenly turned to a swimsuit channel. We have not suddenly turned to TMZ. We've not suddenly turned to bikinis gone wild. We've not suddenly turned to a tabloid. The woman that you're looking at here is the spokesperson for Bediako's New Force Pan-African movement. A Belgian lady. This is the spokesperson for the Pan-African movement. I'm going to just show you a few more shots. This is the spokesperson. These pictures I'm showing you didn't come from a secret site. They didn't come from a hidden site. This is, I mean, I have to thank Tuna Chage for bringing it to my attention of the Instagram and everything. I didn't even know this. I scrolled through her public Instagram. This is public. This is not even hidden. It's like public Instagram. This is the spokeswoman for the New Force movement. I'm going to show you something else as well. Please look at this. This lady is being received like a dignitary in Africa. This is in Ghana, a flood place. Look at what she's wearing. To go and survey the aftermath of a flood. She's been taken around to... This is not the wife of a president. This is not the wife of an ambassador. This is not a diplomat. This is not an envoy from the United Nations. This is an Instagram model from Belgium who isn't even a Ghanaian citizen. She's not even a citizen. How is she in this position? Look at this. You'd think that she was the president of a country or the prime minister. Look at her interviewing her. Now, let me take this off and let's get back to where we're going, because there's a lot more. I won't even show any more. I think we've seen enough. Before I talk about what she represents, I'm going to say this. This disqualifies Nana Bediako to me.
Yep.
If you are going to choose this woman to represent your movement for Africa as a spokesperson, I question your judgment as a potential president.
And to add on that, he got directly asked why he chose that woman, and his reply was childish at best and idiotic at most.
Tell me what he said.
As in his reply was that he looked all over Ghana for a spokesperson, but they were so afraid of what they were doing. No Ghanaian, right?
No Ghanaian on earth.
No Ghanaian.
You couldn't find a Ghanaian.
You couldn't find a Ghanaian who had the guts, right?
Yeah.
To do what this Belgian lady could do, right? So that's like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's directly what he said to that interviewer, right? Like, even the interviewer was like, damn, politicians have political analysts to tell you not to do dumb things like this. Then he's like, oh no, as we know what you're doing, we looked all over Ghana.
All over Ghana.
all over Ghana.
I can find you a Ghanaian woman now. Not even tomorrow, now, in my phone. You know, I'm not going to say why she's in my phone, but I can find her now, today, who can speak and has the guts to say these things.
Yeah.
So he's talking nonsense.
Not even nonsense. That's like a childish. Like reply when your parents ask you, did you clean your room? Yes, I cleaned everywhere.
You know what? You know what's funny? He couldn't forget Ghana. He couldn't find a Nigerian.
Yeah.
He couldn't find a Kenyan. He couldn't find a Ugandan. He couldn't find a South African. He had to go to Belgium.
And
Come on.
So the reporter goes like, I think if you have time, so that people, people already, there's some people already bamboozled by this guy, money can make you follow any false messiah, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I'd like you to, after we finish just this section, you play that part of the interview so that people don't say I'm putting words.
Oh, right. Which parts? Which parts again? Because I have the interview here.
Yeah. Like the reporter starts asking him from 50, the mark of 50 minutes.
Okay,
yeah,
I have it here.
Going forward, right?
Let me
so
cue
that
it up.
sometimes it's good to hear something from the horse's mouth.
Let me cue it up. Hold on.
It's good to hear something from the horse's mouth so that people don't be like, I'm a hater, I'm hating on this guy, I'm calling him like childish, I'm calling him like dumb, right? Based on his answer. I just want to hear everybody who's watching. You can even take this snippet and share it everywhere. Just listen to his dumb question. Like, this is a person who, his dumb answer. This is a person who wants to be the leader of Ghana, right?
Okay, so this is let me bring it up. I've got it here. So this is, you said minutes 50.
Yeah, from minutes 50.
50 minutes.
Yeah. The guy starts asking him about Bel Lady. Yeah.
Let me cue it up. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I have it here now. Let's cue this up. Okay. All right. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. I have to put the volume. Let me just see where the volume is here. Because I sometimes have issues with sound. Oh, I see it. I didn't put the sound. Okay, here we go.
For days.
How long ago?
It's been 2-3.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 months. And then
3 months.
Yeah, what I hear the most that worries me is orders from above. In so many of the things.
No, the Electoral Commission is telling you orders from above.
No, somebody would tell my people. I don't go there myself.
Okay.
That orders from above is saying that, oh, maybe we should wait. Orders from above is saying that we should arrest this, we should keep this. Orders from above saying that we should cancel this. Orders from above. So, we as New Force were a little bit confused about the entire national governance, because I feel like there has to be some human rights in there, which I'm not saying that Ghana is not going by that, but maybe fully they're not doing it, because it's clearly that we're still waiting to be responded to. At least give us a letter.
To give the provisional license.
Yes, give us a letter. We wrote again, and then we asked them that, the time has passed and please respond, and we still haven't. So we are okay. We are just going with the movement. It's an independent. However, if the country wants to grant us a certificate or a license to become a political party, we will go into it. We will go into that dimension. We would look for the people. We will build the cabinet. We will do the things that has to be done.
And you've gone through the process of submitting all the documents to the Electoral Commission as we speak, awaiting, and all of this started with a dream. Last year.
It started with a dream, and for me, it's a calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah, it's a calling.
But let's talk about Shalima.
Yeah.
Abusi. Why did you decide to have a Belgian be your spokesperson when you want to run for president for Ghana? Because what I understand is that this decision you communicated a few days ago is one you've been nurturing for the last, number of months.
Yeah.
So why that decision?
Thank you very much for asking me this question, because I've never had a platform to explain myself to Ghanaians. Why would I use a Belgian? So in the beginning of the New Force with a mask and everything, we have been speaking to people, so many people to join us, to do this, to do that, to do that. But today, I want to be able to tell the nation and yourself and people who are watching, we tried so many people to be the spokespersons. They were all scared. They didn't want to use their face.
Ghanaians?
Yes, they didn't want to use their face. We were struggling, Alfred. And I want to today, I want to use this to tell Ghanaians that my doors are open. Anything you can do, you're welcome to come and help us. But they all refused. They all refused. So Shalima...
What was the reason behind their refusal? When you approach people, what did they tell you?
I think it's either they were scared that, okay, you're not in power, there's someone in power, if I show my face, I can, you know. So that's the kind of, you know, feeling I was getting from the people. You know, some people nodded to it, but I never heard.
So let me tell you, Ghana right now is going through some economic turmoil, right? There's so many youths who would die for a job, right? There's so many youths who risk their lives every day in Ghana just to find their daily bread, right?
Right.
So you're trying to tell me that a Ghanaian looking for a job would go like, hey, there's this nice, good paying job of a spokesperson, and I'm afraid there's some Ghanaians who risk their lives every day in mines, right? To go underground with no air, carbon monoxide poisoning, just to see if they can get a little nugget of gold, right? Yeah, hundreds. So you're trying to tell me, like you can get somebody from a mine and tell him all you have to do is talk.
Let me go worse. Let us. That is a lie. That's a lie. But let us even say that we are going to Belgium. I know women from all over the world. Okay, in Belgium, Brussels is in Belgium. That is where the international. There are diplomats all over the place in Belgium.
Yep.
Do you know the kind of white women you could even find in Belgium who are lawyers, doctors, even career politics?
Ghanaian, Belgium. Like there's
what I'm trying to say is that let us even go white.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to give him all the benefits of the doubt. Let's give him everything. You're trying to tell me that in a country, from a country that is known for having diplomats, you couldn't find a woman that wasn't on Instagram in bikinis and having BBLs. You could not find a woman that had a reputation of working in politics, of working in foreign affairs. You couldn't find somebody like that. This is the best you could do. And listen, if you say you looked all over the whole of Africa, whole of Ghana, you couldn't find somebody. The best white woman you could find is an Instagram model.
Yeah.
That's the best you could find. Come on, man. Listen, my question with this, and listen, I can say it, you can say it, because I'm a renegade guy. My question was, I was like, are you having a relationship with this lady? Like, is that what's going on? The second thing I was like, does she have OnlyFans or something? Like, is this what's going on? Is this where you found her? That was my initial question. When I first saw it, I'm telling you honestly, I saw the page. My first instinct was, is this an OnlyFans person? Is this like OnlyFans promotion? Or second of all, I was like, is this like an affair? Is he having an affair with this person? That was my own, because I didn't know either person. My instinct was that because of the way she presented herself. So I was thinking that. Then after a while, I was like, wait a minute, this is a spokesperson? For me, listen, as a Nigerian, if I see something like this, if I was in Nigeria, as a Nigerian politician, the first thing I'm thinking is that this is like his mistress. That's the first thing I would think. I would like, it's his mistress that has been exposed and he's the one funding her and giving her cars and money. That's my instinct. So when I now discover that, wait a second, this woman is a spokesman for your thing. And I'm scrolling down the page and I'm thinking like, how is she even funding all of this lifestyle? Where's the money even coming from to be flying to Dubai? Because you're not an international model. You're not like somebody who's on the picture, on the covers of Vogue or Vanity Fair or any of these things. Because typically when you go to models' pages, they will show you their photo shoots. They would show you their covers. They would show you that you are just an Instagram model. So my question is like, how are you? What is your job? How are you affording this? We're not going to go into that because I have my suspicions. But my thing is that I cannot take you seriously as a candidate for president if you are telling me that in your own country you cannot find a Ghanaian to do this job.
Yeah. That one was like such a bad dig at Ghanaians. First of all, it's you're undermining like Ghanaian youths, that the ones that you're saying you are here to help them and give them jobs, right? The first, like one of the first jobs you're giving, like a prominent job, you're giving it to your model friend, right?
Let me, Miss My Golden Life says something that's very important. this man is not smart. When you do something like this, and the woman you put forward is the type of physique and build that is a black woman's physique, like that is a typical black woman's physique that black women have complained about, the fact that people like Kim Kardashian and all these people go to surgeons and doctors to surgically make them look like what black women naturally have. Bigger curves, bigger hips, fuller figures, all of these things. So when you now pick a white woman that is almost imitating, because I was looking through the pages, she's got braids, you've got the BBL, you've got all of these things, and you're like imitating what you can find naturally in Africa. And as my golden life says, she's not pretty. Of course she's not. Like on every level, your marketing, you said that you're a marketing guy. This is bad press for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was very ashamed when I looked on the comments and I'm seeing Africans, maybe they are plants, maybe they're not real comments. Oh, so beautiful, so this, so that, whatever. And I'm like, my God, guys, like, what are we doing here? This is very serious. People are dying. People are dying. People don't have food. People don't have electricity. People don't have healthcare. This is serious. You can't just have somebody using this for photo ops. And you're sanctioning that. And it's taking us, people like yourself. If you didn't give me this info, I wouldn't have the info. That's what it's, which is why I'm saying it's so important that Tuna Cheke exists and these sort of platforms exist. You are the reason why I know what happened. You.
So it's like this. Like I've always described what we do is like Africa is a body, right? And us little channels like Tunacheki, like other channels like Wodemaya, other like your channel, like Africa Diaspora News Channel, are like the antibodies, right? And Africa is constantly being attacked, right?
Right.
And then sometimes you can have external attacks like viruses, bacteria. So for me, I consider those ones as the West, right? Things that attack you from outside, right? But then sometimes you can have cancers and tumors, things that are from the inside. These are the corrupt leaders, the dictators, and like a good example, somebody who is trying to hijack like a movement that has been going on for decades, because he has not built up his CV, so he wants to jump the line, right? He doesn't want to be in protest. He doesn't want to be tear gassed. He doesn't want to be, a political prisoner. Like a good example, right? I Bobby Wine of Uganda, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like
yes, right, yes.
The opposition leader, right? People always give him flack because he always has some, like, he's always pro-Western in his policies, right? He's never gotten that much support as a Malema, right? But he's still fighting for like freedom and stuff, right? That guy has been whipped. That guy has been imprisoned. He's been beaten. He's had these people from his group.
He has a legacy. He has a history.
Yeah. So for me, even if this guy Bobby Wine, he like, I do not agree with this policy, right? Like personally, I do not agree with this policy when it comes to how you relate to the West, right? Like how to set Uganda free from like Museveni, right? I still have 100% respect for him because he's fighting for what he believes in. He's risked himself.
He's put his life on the line.
He's put his life on the line. He's been tear gassed. He's been beaten. He's been imprisoned. As in, he's fighting his fight, right? And we can't always have the right ideas of what will save Africa, right? Other people have different ideas, right? For us, we have him. He goes like, I think this will save Africa. For me personally, I think it will save Africa, right? But one thing I cannot stand is like a faker, a poser, a marketer who is trying to buy the suffering.
Their way. Well, you know what? Yeah, no, but you know what? What's interesting about what you're saying is that even if you're trying to buy your way to jump the line, What is bothering me most about him is that I don't even know what you're selling.
Yeah.
That's the bigger problem for me. It's like, it's one thing if you have a policy plan and you don't want to go through the normal channels to do the work to get to where you want to go to and you want to jump. This man, you're jumping, but you're jumping with nothing. I mean, to this homegirl healer's point, she says, those non-Black people who insert themselves into Black spaces do not do so because they aren't respectful or successful with their own people. Some Black people are too happy to accept the scraps from other groups. The essence of what she's saying is actually really important, because that lady who is the spokesperson for a political movement in Africa would get no play in Belgium, would get no play in England, is just an Instagram person like every other thousands of them on Instagram in any of these European countries. Do you think that any political party would make her the spokesperson of it in Belgium or in England? That's the thing. The fact that she can do this in Africa is why she's doing it. All of a sudden, you become relevant. All of a sudden, people take you seriously. All of a sudden, people are opening doors for you, laying out the red carpets for you. You're doing all of these things. That is the reason why you're in that position. And two a more important points of this is that, let us say you are trying to be magnanimous and support this movement. Why don't you remove all those pictures from Instagram? Why don't you remove all those videos from Instagram? It's because you want to go back to that. That's why. This is just today's hustle.
Yeah.
It's not like you've changed. It's not like you've changed your... If you changed, what you would do is you would scrub that whole thing from your social media and start fresh and say that this is who I am today. This is where I am. That is my past. I am now this sort of person. When I see you going to give a speech in front of Black folks in Africa and your blouse, you've got one button holding your breasts together, your body, I'm like, what is this? What is going on? Would you dress like this if you are giving a speech in The Hague? Would you go to The Hague like that? Because you're from Belgium, right? Would you go to The Hague like that? No, you wouldn't. Would you go to any dignitary in Brussels like that? No, you wouldn't. But you do that in Africa with your Prada shades. Now, my thing is that I hear you, and I think I'm so passionate about this because this really annoys me. I'm angry because I know what Europeans are like in their country and what they will tolerate. And it annoys me that people can just walk into Africa and get away with this sort of thing and nobody calls them out on it. That is what is really pissing me off, because she shouldn't have even gotten to that point. Like, as soon as they put her forward, people should have been laughing. Like, what is it? You know what I tell you? Let me tell you this. I'll let you talk. Like, this couldn't happen in Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This could never happen in Nigeria. Do you think that you're going to bring a Belgian white woman and say that she's the face of a political movement in Nigeria?
I think, if also I'm not wrong, didn't Nigeria even ban white models from even advertising?
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, I heard about that. Nigeria, we're not messing around with that sort of thing, because we're like, you can do fun and games, but if you think that you're going to put somebody like that as the spokesperson for a political movement in Nigeria, that will disqualify you immediately. Immediately, like, just automatically, you've killed yourself. That is the reason why I'm so annoyed, because I thought Ghana and Nigeria are very close, very close. Yeah. In fact, I view Ghanaians as Nigerians. It's like, because when I was growing up, like, most of my teachers were Ghanaians. A lot of my family are married to Ghanaians. Ghanaians are just Nigerians to me. So when I see something like this, it annoys me, because I always think that you think like us. But clearly not, because we would never tolerate this. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So for me, now to come to my main point, you say you are annoyed by this, but for me, I'm so saddened by this, right? Because it is undermining something that people died for. Sankara died for this. Patrice Lumumba died for this.
They died
right?
for this, yes.
Like, it's let me give you an example. Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso, the president.
Amazing.
That guy wakes up every morning like thanking God is alive. He has had 4.
His life is on the line. Right?
Yeah,
his life is on the line every day.
Every day, and he doesn't know if it will come from his friend, his next door general, an assassin from outside in the crowd, right? Like, he's walking the Pan-Africanism, as in he's risking his whole life because of something he believes in. He believes in a free Africa. He believes Africa needs to get back what it belongs and start enjoying its resources, right? And he's like he's walking the walk, right?
Right.
Right? Like he's the real deal. So for me, for even somebody, right, and this is now the thing that saddens me completely, for somebody even to think, right, that Ibrahim Traore and this guy, Kwame Bediako, they're even in the same conversation, right? Like the saliva that I mentioned both their names together, right? Like one
Right.
person is risking it all, the other person is just a marketer, right?
It's crazy. It's like, do you know what is funny? So, for example, somebody in my Instagram comments, I don't know whether they're even still in my listening. This person, I don't know whether this person is even African or not, but he's saying it's easier to condemn and pull down someone else's efforts. This is not commendable. That attitude is one of our problems.
Yeah.
You see, when people say that sort of thing, and you haven't got the ability for critical reasoning, that not all good acts are good acts.
Yep.
Not all good acts are good acts.
Not all agendas.
Not all
good
agendas are. Yes, no. This is a bad agenda that needs to be called out, because I'm looking at this and I'm saying that thank you for bringing up Captain Traore. As a man, his life is on the line every day for the sake of Africans. The president of Mali, president of Guinea, presidents of Gabon isn't a part of it, but those three, their lives are on the line every day, fighting for us. And you are going to allow. So where have you heard Captain Traore liken himself to Nkrumah? Where have you heard Captain Traore liken himself to Mandela? Where have you heard Captain Traore say anything like that?
Like
to liken himself to any of these people?
Like, let me tell you, like, let me give you an irony, right? Like Captain Traore, he actually saved the people of Burkina Faso, right?
Yes.
He actually saved, right? But you can never hear a man like that call himself the savior, right? In this guy's speech, he's like, I'm the savior for Africa or Ghanaians.
Wait, let me play for you. Listen, like you said, we don't want to just talk. Let the man say it for himself. Please, I queued up the video. I want people to listen to this man.
Of my children.
So you put in $300,000.
Yes. The show itself was costing us, the event organizers was costing us $150,000, and then all the other logistics, bringing people in and other people who are performing and all of that. So, marketing, all of that together. That's around, it could even be more, but that's just a rough figure.
Here we go, listen.
And we, New Africa Foundation, we can invest $1 million into adding value to the nature, because my life started with giving, and giving is my power. I always believe that giving is the art of receiving is giving. And I think God has blessed me. God has given me tremendous wealth. That's because I've never been scared to give. And so there's so many other things that we have done, from even buying universities and other things in this country that we don't talk about, because paying your tithes, I don't have to talk about it. But I've never failed, and my cup has never run down. So my belief, I don't want to trade it for anything. It's part of me giving, and I really believe that, this investment was not about the money. It was about the message. It was about the inspiration that was going to go to people, and it was about the fact that people will remember me, that I created that Memorial Day to inspire and motivate the nation.
And I'm sure also the speaker whom you flew in to come and talk at this program that never was, shared some of their sentiments with you. Professor Piolo Lumumba has been in this country for a number of times, but Peter Obi, no. What are some of the things they told you about what had happened and how the memory they were living with?
They said many things, but one thing that I think came from the three of them that still stays with me is that they said, son, you have started something that Africa needs, not just your country. Don't give up. Keep going. You have a torch in your hand. And some of them told me that I have a mantle in my hand. Of course, I took them around and I showed them my vision and the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm doing to create jobs and to build the nation and to add value to the country. And, you know, they were impressed, you know, but they also realized that I have some ordained leadership skills that has been bestowed on me. And, you know, I would say they made me feel like I have the spirit of the likes of the Nkrumahs and some of the leaders that I have always looked up to. So, you know, with all the other things that...
Did you hear what this man just said? Did you hear what this man just said?
Yep.
Like, how are you voting for this person? Like what are we doing? Do you know what it's like? This is why I believe that these people do not even pay attention to what's going on in Africa. I wish Captain Traore was in that meeting. That guy he will grab his face and just slap his lips. So what are you talking about?
Like even
guys are out here risking their lives, and you're here talking about that, saying that you are you Tupac? He's talking like he's Tupac.
Like I think he'll be pistol whipped. Like that guy will just take his side. Captain will take his side arm and pistol whip him.
No, you pistol whip. Listen, I'm telling you that he wouldn't even he won't take his gun out. He would just slap him. Like, what are you talking about? Like what are you talking about? When you're looking at what these Mali guys, have you seen the Mali president? The Mali president doesn't even show his face anymore. He just wears a bandana across his face. He doesn't even show his face because as far as he's concerned, his face is not important.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures of the Mali president. The guy doesn't even show his face.
Yep.
That is what we're talking, because these guys are like, I'm standing on business now. That's it. We're action. People talk to me that, Mech, look at your hood, your glasses, or whatever. I'm like, because I don't want to be famous.
Yeah.
People say, why don't you show your face? It's not about me. I don't want to be famous. I don't even like having to do this. But somebody's got to say something.
Yep.
Let me bring a Ghanaian. I have a Ghanaian here that I'm going to bring in. Okay, but he's in America, so you know.
Yo.
He's a
Before I say anything, big props to my guy. I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is. Did he find
Mikey?
He found this for us?
He found he found a lot of information. He's the guy who brought this information to me. He's the guy. So thank Tuna Treki.
Thank you, because this is eye-opening for real. Wow.
This is an explosive live, because I said, when he called me yesterday, I said, listen, man, all that live you did, I have information for you. You don't know what's going on. And I was like, what? We talked for 1 hour where he just downloaded me. I was like, are you kidding me? I said, you've got to come on my live tomorrow. You've got to come on my live tomorrow. We will not even get through everything in this show.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We are not even going to get through everything.
I don't think we'll touch 10% of what we really want to say.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. Chosen carry on. Sorry.
No, I mean, I didn't think something like this was even possible. I mean, I think you summed it up nicely. This disqualifies him point blank, period. He should drop out of the race.
Immediately.
Why would you do this?
Chosen, this is your country.
Why would you do that? I just see this actually sprouts about 50 different ways we can go in the conversation, as far as that woman actually felt she could go there and speak and no one is going to say anything.
Move your camera a little bit, because you're sort of to the center yourself a little. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I didn't even play it because, again, I just didn't want to. I have the footage, but I didn't play it. There is footage of this woman criticizing President Addo. I was like, how dare you? How dare you criticize the president of Ghana? Who are you to criticize the president of Ghana?
You know what it's like. You come to.
Let me just say this. If you were a Ghanaian citizen, I don't care about your skin being white. Let's say she was a Ghanaian citizen. She was born in Ghana. She's a Ghanaian. There are some white Ghanaians. I wouldn't say the same kind of stuff. I'd be more like, guys, you know what? Optically, it's not good to have somebody like this talking for you. But you're in Ghana. You grew up in Ghana. Okay. Like if a white Nigerian, there are some of them who exist, you know, who grew up in Nigeria, whatever, said some things. Nigerians are smart enough to understand that, listen, I don't give a damn that you speak in Pidgin. I don't give a damn that you speak Yoruba. The optics of a white person criticizing the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, you don't like Bola Tinubu, that's your business. You can talk about it in private. You cannot be on interviews saying that sort of stuff about the president of Nigeria. Sorry, carry on.
No, again, I agree with everything you said, and that's where I was going. It's almost like when you go to a foreign place and you're not from there, there are levels of acceptance. Like if I'm Black and I go to China, for example, chances are, from the travel videos that I've seen, etc., you're going to be ignored for the most part.
You'll be ignored when you take it seriously.
But if you're Black and you go to China and you speak the language, and not only do you speak the language, you speak the most difficult language there, which is Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah.
Welcome you with open arms. You've gone up a level.
You go up a massive level, big time.
Then the top level is when you're able to criticize that government not being from there. She skipped all of it.
Everything.
And no one said anything?
Chosen, did you see her Instagram that I posted? Did you see it?
I saw it, but I need the tag because I need to talk.
No, I don't even want to. I didn't want to publish.
Send it to me. Don't give her any press.
We will
on here.
go there. We'll go and look for the
and I
OF
need the video.
page.
I need the video as well. If you have,
I've got everything. I've got everything.
Please.
I fully.
Crazy.
Listen, the crazy thing is, like, Tuna Check, Mike said it to me. He said that he scrolled. He said what he believes, and I'll let you say this for yourself as well. We don't even scroll enough. So people will just go to that page and look at the last few posts. All you have to do is do one scroll and you see what her life was a matter of a few months ago.
Yep.
Like, just scroll a little bit and when you see the page, you're like, how on earth this woman got into this position tells you a lot about Bediako. Forget about her. It says a lot about this man. Because all three of us sitting here, there is no Black man. And again, I'm very honest. People know that when the Mex talks, I'm very honest. Fun and games are fun and games. Go and have your fun and games. That is not for Front Street. So go and do your fun and games. Listen, there are guys who have their girlfriends from Lebanon, girlfriends from Saudi Arabia, girlfriends from Belgium, Sweden, Norway. Do your thing.
I don't want to see it. Have your fun.
That's my point. We do not want to see that.
This is crazy. This is nuts.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry. Go ahead.
Like for me, it's like now the thing that is sad about all this is that whatever happened, there are two victims, right? First, it's Pan-Africanism. Its talk has gone down in my eyes, right? Because just anybody can be a Pan-Africanist, right? You just need a few dollars, an Instagram model, and I'm the new messiah, right? Right. Then also another victim is the Ghanaian government. No matter how bad or good the Ghanaian government is, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it shouldn't get called out or be disrespected for somebody else's mistake, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So for me, I'm a big proponent of freedom of speech, right? Technically, I'm an anarchist, right? Like politically speaking, right? Governments. I'm not going to be one person who's like, hey, I'm supporting this government or I'm supporting this government, right? But there's some rules set for some reason. There are procedures set for some reason. So if you don't follow some certain procedures, you try to hoodwink people. So you pull a first one, yeah. Then when your organization gets cancelled, and people are left embarrassed, right? Because I'm sure it's not fun, like buying a ticket going all the way to Ghana, right? Because I'm sure like there are some people from the US. There's some people from the US who are there, right? Tickets are super expensive. Going there, like you're there, like you look like an idiot. You're like, okay, why am I here, right? Like I saw some people that all the full Ghanaian regalia, the full traditional one, right? What do you call it? Like the big Ghanaian.
The Ghanaian show. I know what you're talking. The orange and red, green and thing. Yes.
Yeah. So you're just there standing on a street like an idiot. Like, man, who brought me here? Like, so that's like those for me are the victims, right? Yeah,
They are the victims.
yeah, because the event was marketed as something else, a Pan
Mhm.
African convention, not a political
Kente,
party.
it's called Kente.
Yeah.
Everybody, please, in my chat room, my moderators, please control the chat room. We've got some trolls in there. I knew we are going to get them, so please control the chat room. We've got some trolls. Well, not trolls, but just keep it respectful. I know that some people might get emotional about certain things. Don't insult each other, please. I saw some insults being thrown around. Just, keep it respectful in the chat.
Yeah.
Now,
So this is now my like now the major issue I have with all this, right? People are trying to do funny things, hoodwinked, right? Like there was nothing stopping that guy, like doing the convention, like separate. It's like this is a convention, right? And then there's nothing stopping him doing his political launch, right? Yeah, like this whole point of maybe in the business world where you do shortcuts, where you do loopholes, puts you ahead, right? But when you're talking about policies, as you said, like things are done halfway, right? Like they don't have
he has no
policy,
policies,
like they
nothing,
don't have a plan. Like he
no
just has
plan.
and now this is my fear, right? You know what this guy is kind of like emulating, or he's trying to do, right? And I'll give you a very good one. Maybe it will make sense, right? Yeah.
Right.
Guess who this guy is trying to emulate, or which method he's trying to use to get into like it's called notoriety or into power. Guess who is emulating?
Right.
Like, can you guess any of you, the chosen one, the monk?
Who
Can
he's
you guess?
trying to imitate? You're asking who he's trying to
Yeah,
imitate.
to emulate, to use the method the same person used to get so much power.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Yeah,
That
yes,
was my guess. Yeah, that was.
yeah.
Done it, see.
It's the same playbook. Do you remember when he did the hotel? When he did the
Yeah,
hotel?
when he came down the elevator,
Yeah.
the thing,
Like the
the
media. Then
escalator.
this guy, like with the back, like the way the Ghanaian government even canceled the event. Do you know they even did for him a favor, right? Because everybody's talking about him.
Everybody's talking about you now.
Like it's me against the government. Oh, I'm here to save you guys. Like just listen to his language, right? Who's the biggest narcissist? Like who would say I'm the
Listen,
savior?
it's unbelievable. And you know what the funny thing is? I would say, which is why I said that this is so important, what we're doing. What we're doing is critical for these moments. It's critical for these moments because the message is more important than us. Like we are not the important factor here. The more important factor is that people know what is going on and how to process what they're seeing. That's the thing. So you're seeing something, and to give people the tools to say what you're seeing, this is what it really means. This is what is really going on. Because before you know it, a guy like this gets so much power that it's too late. You can't even do anything anymore. It doesn't matter what you. In fact, if you say something, they'll come and attack you for saying it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they did that in the chat.
Yeah, don't get me wrong here. This is the thing I said about him. I'm not trying to say he's an inherently bad person. I'm not. But what I am trying to say is that you're disingenuous.
Well,
that's what I can say. No, because we can't categorically say you're bad. We can't say that.
Well, we don't have the luxury.
But
we don't have the luxury of extending him that courtesy of making that separation and saying, "Oh, you're technically not bad," because you're doing too much damage. At that point, I'm not cutting you any slack. You're doing the damage, and that is what is harming the overall movement.
No, it is. No, listen, it's like, look, let me put it this way. Do you know what's so mad? As of today is what day is today? The 12th of January. More people know who this guy is, and more people are talking about him today than Captain Traore.
Yep.
Facts.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. As in this guy, like they always say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. This guy is having great publicity, right? People are mentioning his name, like he's the victim, right? In the narrative online, in most chat rooms, most group, he's the victim. He's being suppressed by the government. The government is afraid of him. oh, poor guy, he just wants to help the youth, he just wants to give jobs. Like, that's the narrative right now, right?
Right.
And people are eating it up. People, as in, everybody's like, oh, Tunacheki, like, you're so mean. You don't like upcoming Africans. The way that is like there's a comment like that, right?
No, I'm
There's
saying,
like,
no, the comments are
There
here.
was a
They're-
comment like that in the chat. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
yes.
like, like we're haters. I'm telling you guys, as in, like I always say, like, ask questions. It never hurts to ask questions. Just ask questions. Like, who are you? Like, what can you do for me? What
You have
policies
to
do
ask questions. You have to.
yeah,
You
ask
have to
questions.
ask.
Like, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, but taking the placard, like, yay, we support you just because somebody has a few dollars to invite some
Well,
people.
you know what somebody said? I think somebody said this. Have you heard of honeypot operatives in
Yep.
special ops? Have you guys
Yep.
heard of okay, so let me tell the audience what honeypots are. Honeypot operatives are exactly what it sounds like. So this is where a spy agency, like, or a secret service agency like the KGB, MI6, CIA, whatever, will get women, or men, depending on what the target is into, and use them as operatives to sabotage a government, a movement, a rebel, whatever it might be. So they'll send them in there as essentially designed to disrupt. So for example, you could use them to create a scandal. You could use them to, they take pictures or have audio recordings, and before you know it, they suddenly say that this person assaulted them or they did this, and you think it's an official, legit story. But the reality is that these people were essentially used. Sometimes they don't even know they're being used in that way. They may not even, and that's actually the most effective honeypot operations, is that they themselves have plausible deniability because they didn't even realize that the person who put them into that situation was an actual agent or a spy.
Like a good example, do you remember the teenagers who killed the president of the North Korean president, right?
Oh, I don't know that one.
So like I think a few years back, some agents from North Korea went to Thailand and they gave some kids money to do a prank that they should take this chemical as like a liquid and wipe it on the face of that guy. It's a prank, right?
Right.
But that thing had nerve agents, and those kids killed the president of North Korea, right? Those kids.
When was this?
What they were doing? They thought it was a prank, right?
When was this?
Like I think a few years back, just such the North Korean president's brother. He was living in, I think, Thailand or Vietnam. I forget the country.
So it was the brother of the president.
Oh, yes, I did read that. Yeah. He got assassinated.
Yeah. That's how they killed him, right? Like they just tricked kids, like hey, there's this reality TV show. All you have to do is take this liquid and just like wipe it on him, right? The guy died there in the airport, right?
Yeah, yes. But they're saying that the president was behind that because he tried to.
Yeah. Like it was like it was a definite hit, right?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that even the person who thinks maybe they're just doing it because it's a gig, they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. No, and I think with this woman, she's so obviously compromised. Like, it's just so obvious that part of me feels she was deported, by the way. So people are saying, I already know she was deported, but that's neither here nor there. She got deported in December for invalid visa. My question is that how the hell does somebody be a spokesperson for a political party and you're on a tourist visa?
No.
Do you know what that's like?
Guess what? Like she wasn't on a tourist visa; she was on a student visa. And if I'm not wrong, if you're in a student visa, I don't think you're allowed to work.
Not only that, they said that she's not even really a student.
Yeah. She wasn't a student, but she came in the country.
So what I'm saying is that, yeah, exactly. So I'm saying she's not even a student. My point is that this is like me deciding I'm going to go to a country on like a visitor's visa. And when I get there, I start trying to take down the government in public. Yeah. And the press in that country actually gives me a platform.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of anything so wild in your life? This is the reason why. This is why they don't respect us. This is why they don't respect us.
They do not. They do not.
This is why.
And like for me, I think it's even worse than being disrespected. It's being undermined. It's like whatever we are doing here. It's like useless or child stuff. Like they can just send anybody to just come and be part of the group, or I don't know. As in, for me now, like for me, it's the optics that's coming out of this that's first of all saddening, and also urgently we need to find a way to so let me give you some background, right? So before I started Tunacheki, I used to work for the UN, right?
Right.
Yeah, I was a project manager for the UN, and my specialty was communications and doing events, right? I've
Right.
done events in Vietnam. I've done events in Paris. I've done events in Amsterdam. I've done events in Nairobi. I've done
Right.
events. As in, when you're doing these events and you are seeking venues, like the procedures you have to do these things. When you're inviting guests, right? There's a way you introduce
There's a
yourself.
way
You're
you
like,
do it, right?
yeah. There's a way we like
Protocol,
you build.
protocol.
Yeah. Like protocol. Definitely, we have to go through procurement. As in, there's so much process. So for me, my take to these guys who were invited, these leaders, right? The Pan African leaders who are invited, right? Next
Right.
time you are invited to a Pan African event, please verify before you link your name, you link your brand, you link your image to
Right.
some things that you might not totally agree with, right?
Why
Right.
do
Yeah.
you need to tell them to do that?
Yeah.
I know. He said that why do we even need to tell them to do
Yeah,
something that's so obvious?
because for me, like maybe before, this Pan African thing wasn't so much of a big deal. It
No,
was just
Mike,
like,
let me go into a direction that I think we just have to say up front here, and I'll say it. This is the reality. Nigerians, not Nigerians, Africans are children. Okay? We are treated like children, we behave like children. And this is the result of generations of psychological abuse through colonialism and slavery. So you end up in a situation that parents have taught their children how to be children. So the reality is that when Europeans deal with Africans, they realize that performance is more important than substance. If you can make a child and just show them something flashy, a 5-year-old isn't asking about the substance of what you're showing them. A 5-year-old is responding to the colors, the sounds, how you make them feel. As they mature and get older, because of experience of growth, they realize that substance matters more than flash. Now, we've never developed. We're still adolescents as a community. So it's very easy to, when they put that woman in front of this place, do you know how many guys are looking at this lady like, this is like, oh my god, a white woman is coming to talk to us and she's saying that, oh my goodness, then we must mean something. We must be important because a white woman is coming to the village and whatever. That is how we think. Now, the reason for that is that the work that we are trying to do as a community here as of content creators and commentators on this space hasn't been happening for generations. We haven't had this sort of discourse for generations in Africa. The people who listen to Tunacheki, who come on my platform, I can guarantee you, if a kid starts listening to my platform at age 12, by the time that guy is 25, you're not messing with that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not messing with him. You're not going to be able to just show him some flashy things. He'll be like, hang on a second. I remember when I was on the Mex channel or on Tunacheki that day, and then he said, I remember some kind of move like that. They're thinking critically at that point. And the beauty of this stuff, which is the reason why I haven't left TikTok completely, is that TikTok goes to the phones of the guy in the village. It goes to the phone of the person on the road, the person in any corner of Africa where they can access the kinds of conversations and information that we're putting out. Because that is what has caused this nonsense. What has caused this nonsense is that the reason why somebody isn't thinking to vet, like you're saying, is because they haven't grown up in a world where they had to vet anybody. Because they're used to being told. They just get told things. They're not used to having to sit down and be like, yes, we've been told something, but do I trust what I'm hearing? Do I believe they're not thinking. This woman went on a news station, and again, I didn't play that video, where she's talking about her subjugation and persecution when she was taken captive for 4 days with no due process, how human rights were violated in Ghana, and that this is what is going on. And I was like, and then you've got this white guy, listen, and going and nodding, say, yes, you know what you've been through, what you've been through. Then there's video of her parents crying, let my daughter go, my daughter, la, la, crying and everything. And I'm like, what is going on here? You'd think that they're talking about a hostage. That's what you'd think. And not only any other hostage, a world leader hostage. That's what you think you're watching.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking to myself that this same father who's crying for his daughter, I have video footage of him in Prada with her buying bags. I have the footage here. I didn't play it. I have the footage on my computer. I didn't play that footage. In fact, let me play the footage, guys. Hold on. Let me play this footage. Because I was trying to be kind. I was like, you know what? Don't play the footage. Don't embarrass people. Let me play the footage. Hold on. This is the man who is crying about this lady. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me play this footage. Where is it? Prada. There we go. There we go. Prada. Let's get this Prada up. All right. Let's get this Prada. There we go. This lady that I'm about to play for you, and this guy. First of all, I want to play something so you can see something. I'm going to play something here that you guys should watch. Okay. Look at this. Look at what she's wearing.
Jesus Christ.
Look at this. Look at this. Is this the president of a country or what are you there for? Why do you have a microphone? Why? Now, I wanted to just whet your appetite. I wanted to whet your appetite. Let me show you a little bit more. Let me whet your appetite here. This is what we're dealing with. This is a spokesperson for the Pan-African movement. Look at this. This is spokesperson, guys. I wanted to whet your appetite a little bit. Hold on, I haven't finished, guys. Let's keep. I haven't finished with her. Let me whet your appetite. Now, what I'm going to show you now is this is the spokesperson for the Pan-African movement.
Yo.
This is the spokeswoman for the Pan-African movement in Ghana, the new force. This is the new force that Nana wants to give us. This is the new, look at the forcefulness of her. This is forcefulness. Now, look at him.
What is
look at him. Look at his face. Look at him. That's her parents. Look at his face. I want to pause this. Guys, I'm pausing it here. Look at this man. This is the guy who was crying, let my daughter go, the hostage. This is the guy who is crying about releasing his daughter. They're in Prada buying clothes. Look at this. Look at this. What? And guys, this is from her social media. This is from her social media. I didn't find this by secret. I just went to her social media to see this. Look at his face. Look at him smiling. That is the face of a man who is like, man, this is a supreme hustle, man.
Oh my days.
That's what we're dealing with, guys. That's what we're dealing with, guys.
And for me, the thing that I'm scared of is that nobody who was part of, who was a guest, saw that and went I don't want to be involved with that. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. That's the thing that's pissing me off. I'm sure there's so many people who hate the Ghanaian president Nana Akufo-Addo, right? But how much can your hate be until you're blinded by stupidity? As in, how much can you hate somebody until somebody shows you crazy things and you're like,
as we've said, this thing disqualifies him. That is my point with it. It is like that. You should never show your face in politics again. You should never have anything to do with politics. Do you know what I'm going to do? I have taken this personally. Everybody who's listening to this thing, the video I'm going to drop on this guy's head, he will actually be like, damn. The video I'm going to drop on Nana's head, Bediako, 1 minute 30, 90 hot seconds. Guys, I'm going to say this again. This is a bar, I'm telling you. 90 hot seconds on Nana. That's going to be the name of the video. 90 hot seconds. Because this is ridiculous behavior. I'm a nobody. But when a man like Captain Traore is out there and you're doing this when a guy's life is on the line. The video is called 90 hot seconds on Nana, because I'm going to break down all of this stuff that people just need to be aware that this is what is going on. And if you're going to allow somebody to get into the arena to lead your country forward in a time like this, you need to do your due diligence. Because I'm angry about this, because we are busy in Nigeria being fighting over whether Bola Tinubu should have won the election. We're fighting over actual candidates. In the meantime, you guys are allowing this to happen, where these people are criticizing your president and your Listen, I saw the comments when she was criticizing the president, and people were actually engaging with her.
So many people are like, Nana Addo is like a puppet for the West. Like, right. So this person is trying to tell me he's like that person who's saying Nana Addo is a Western puppet because he's been told by a white woman that Nana Addo is a Western puppet. Isn't that person even the bigger puppet? Because you're just following, you're like blind. You're just being led, like sheep, right? Like led, yeah. As in, there's like no substance, no research, no asking questions. Just like you're being told tomorrow is Friday, October. Instead of saying no, tomorrow is Saturday.
You just accept it.
Tomorrow's Friday. Let's go. As in,
Chosen, what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
And they mentioned something very important: critical thinking, right?
Yes.
Right. Especially with this age of social media, where people rarely think for themselves. You see something, the new gospel, right? Like you're told something, you just like follow the crowd. Like there's no asking questions, there's no thinking, there's no putting yourself in a situation. You see, like a best way to when you're reasoning out about things is that you always put yourself, like you kind of do a simulation in your head. You put yourself in that fit, right? Like imagine there you're sitting, you're hearing this guy talk, then you're like, what is?
If I were there, I would just be staring at them like, why? Why are you?
Like, what am I listening to? As in, and then after that, you look around, you're like, am I the only one who's awake? Like again, so for me, it's like people really need to start asking questions, thinking for themselves, not just like somebody flashy, glitzy mask. I don't know. They did like the mask thing.
No, the mask. But listen, but before you forget, Chosen, you were going to say something. Chosen, what were you going to say?
You mentioned puppets and puppeteers, and I think you also did as well, Merk. What I'm trying to say is this, and this might be a bit dark, but in order to deter something like this from happening, if that woman felt that she knew enough to speak on something, you are now in the game. So if you get detained, if you get arraigned, if you get sequestered and you're not allowed, you're lucky you are allowed to leave. We can't.
Exactly.
So I have no sympathy. If something crazy happens, I'm looking at what you did, which is a slap in the face. You came there, you spoke, you thought you knew what was going on, and you're basically saying you know more than the people that live there. And look, to me, it's a business move. Somehow, whatever the connection she has with this person, it's some kind of business move that none of us are aware of.
Right.
So it's one of those things where, and I hate that because it's masked in we care about you. It's masked in we want the best for you. When I saw that video that was presented, the first thing that came to my mind, I'm not sure if you guys remember all of the unrest and everything when George Floyd died.
Yes.
There were videos taken of white Instagram influencers who went down to that event to just quickly take a picture to say that they were there and then put a black square on their page to show that they were in support. No, you wanted black money. You wanted black followers. It's like I'm seeing it. This is like a modified form of it, but it's the same. So now it's like you have to navigate. Then this goes to what you said, where it's like you have to ask questions, because the true intent, the person that is really for change and progress, and the person who is pretending like they are just to get some deal done, it's all sort of it those two things are now similar in look. So you have to make sure. You have to make sure, because everything is man, it's fake. And you have to be careful who you support, and you have to really listen. So, man, this was an eye opener. I didn't think something like this could happen, because I just
Well, you listen, man. By the way, guys, as we're going into the last stretch of the show, so the call-in link is here. Anybody who wants to join and ask a question, the call-in link is in the chat, so you can click that link. If you're listening in on Twitter or on Instagram, you need to switch over to the YouTube feed to click the link to call in if you have a question or you want to join. And the link is in my bio in any of those platforms, and then you can go straight to the YouTube page. So, guys, we're going into the last stretch. So if you want to get in on this conversation, we'd definitely like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Click that link. I will see you in the lounge, and I will bring you in. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's it. I just, I the fact that she was even allowed to speak, it's like 10 insults. It's just,
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But you know what? Let me run my ad real quickly, and then we'll go into the final stretch, because I mean, look, I do have a few things that I think are actionable things that we can do going forward. So I will use that as the last. So that's going to take 20 seconds break right now, and we'll be right back. Developing a thriving community to uncover hidden African history, stimulate critical thinking, and build bridges between Africa and the diaspora requires resources. It cannot be done without you. Consider joining our Patreon family to support my work, where you can watch ad-free videos early, utilize the chat feature, participate in Patreon-only live shows, and be a part of my creative process. Visit the Patreon link at themerc.io, pick your membership tier, and let's make history together. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. All right, so listen, I feel, first of all, thanks to everybody who's joined the show today. I appreciate everybody. We've had over 200 people come through. We are at 101 people listening, 110 people listening right now. Had a few hundred come through from the analytics. So thanks for joining the show. Share the live, let people know what we're talking about, keep everybody informed. This is a very important topic. As I said, I've got the Patreon, I've got the newsletter. You can go to themerc.io to sign up to either. If you want to support the platform, I'll be very grateful if you do join the memberships on there and support the platform, as so many have already. Now, look, this is the thing, right? I feel like part of the reason why these things happen is nobody holds folks accountable. Everybody knows what happened to me and the vice president of Equatorial Guinea. The guy, he just didn't realize that anybody, would ever say anything about him. So when I said what I said, I didn't know I was going to go viral for it. The funny thing is that I wasn't the first person to talk about him. Many people had talked about it before. I was the first to go viral for it for whatever reason. And he couldn't handle the accountability. I feel that the Pan-African mentality is what is lacking. I'm a Nigerian. If you want to even accept that Nigeria is even a real thing. I'm a Nigerian who is talking about issues going on in Ghana. Most people would say, why do you give a damn about Ghana? It's not your country. Like, why are you talking about Ghana? That's part of the problem. There's a Ghanaian here, there's a Kenyan here, and there's a Nigerian here. And we're talking about stuff that's going on in Ghana. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Because why do I feel so annoyed about something happening in another country? It's because we're all united. It's annoying me because what they're doing in Ghana is it's pretty much like you're doing it to me. And you're doing it to my folks too. That's why I'm talking about this. Because if they do this in Ghana today, they're going to try and pull that in Nigeria tomorrow. We cannot tolerate this. So, actionable-wise, I feel this is all about information. Like I said, I'm going to produce some very short videos that people can share, very easily digestible, 90-second things, 1 minute, 90 seconds, because obviously sharing a whole 3-hour live is very difficult to do. I'll produce those. we can put these things out there so people understand how to process this and to know what to look out for in the future if any of these things happen again. What are you guys' thoughts as far as what we can do about this situation?
For me, maybe I can start with at the end of the day, right? At least we have very good, valuable information of what happened, right? First, we know the price of Pan-Africanism. They've put a tag on it, right? That guy said he spent how much? Is it $300,000? Right?
That's what he said, 300,000, yeah.
Yeah, so technically to buy into the Pan-African movement is just a measly $300,000, right? Yeah,
Right.
so maybe we can really start valuing Pan-Africanism way more, right? Let the next person who wants to sneak their way into the movement, maybe let them pay like maybe 5 billion or something, right? Like we're undervaluing what we have, right? I can imagine $300,000. Meaning any millionaire around the world can just be like, hey, I want to become a Pan-Africanist, right? Like what if somebody like Aliko Dangote wants to become president of Nigeria? How cheap will he have to buy into it, right? So we really need to value Pan-Africanism and just not let anybody in just because they tell you what you want to hear, right? Yeah. Technically, like I think for me, I'd rather have Bobby Wine all day. Somebody I can or Malema, somebody I can argue with policies all day.
Right.
Like you just don't need a yes man. You just don't need somebody who says yeah, and jobs, yeah, and food, yeah, and new cars, yeah, and new Mercedes, yeah. Everybody gets that, right? No. I need somebody who, like, we sit in a conversation, they go like, oh, I think we should align ourselves with America when it comes to trade. They go like, no, we've done that for many years, it's not worked. I think, like, you get, as in, like, it's a back and forth. You need to discuss these things. You cannot just have a figure that you agree with 100%. As the saying goes, it's too good to be true, right? Yeah. Somebody who comes with jobs, who comes with Instagram models, who comes with the fancy masks, no. Like, Pan-Africanism is valuable and we should start treating it valuable. And my advice is like there's so many people who love what we do, and think yourself as not like a gatekeeper, but think yourself as a vaccine or an antibody, right?
Right.
Whoever is interfering with Africa, it's your job to these days everybody has the power, right? You have this. Go on our social media at us, at the mark, at the chosen one. Just hey, this guy is claiming to be Pan-African. Listen to what he has to say. It's as
Yeah, that's
as
a
as
good idea.
simple as that.
Right.
Like, it's just
Yes.
like call people out. That's the best solution. Mine is to let's value Pan-Africanism. It's something very important, right? It's just not these four figures, right? Pan-Africanism is a wider thing we are working for, right? And let's call out these people who want to join in the wagon, and let's put them to the test. If they pass, good for everybody. If they don't, we take them down, right?
Right. Chosen.
No, I echo what he said. I think it's about information and getting on code. So, you mentioned you can buy a seat to the table for 300,000. I think you said to go up to 5 billion. I don't think it's even about the price. That's the one thing I would disagree on. The one thing I would say is if everyone got on code, whether or not you wanted to buy a seat at the table for $1 or 1 billion, you will be vetted equally to see if you're playing games. So I just can't get the picture out of my mind of, I think it's her father sitting on that velvet cushion. So what if that's the guy, the power behind it? He's sitting in his. Go ahead.
Did you show him the video of the father crying?
I don't even want to even.
Please do. I want to see his reaction.
No. I don't want to see that.
Wait. Okay, wait. Send me the link. Where's the link? Send me the link. Do you have the link?
Like I find it. Let me see.
Because that link was, I had trouble finding that. If you find the link, I'll play it. But you know what? Look, listen. It's find the link. I'll put it on. So the funny thing about this is that look, when you I like that this happened because I think it's forced us to have the conversation that I think is really necessary right now, in that everybody is now, people are now beginning to realize that Africa is where it's at. You see what I'm saying? People are beginning to realize, and charlatans are now coming out of the woodwork to hustle us. Now, for us talking about this now puts people on alert that these are things we need to be aware of. These are things you need to pay attention to, because this kind of thing is going to be happening more and more and more. That is the reason why we talk about this stuff, because the reason why these guys get away with this is because we don't have these conversations. That's the reason why they can even try and do these things. Because the thing is that this conference was supposed to happen on Monday. We're now at the end of the week. This guy has become a pseudo celebrity of this. But nobody is having the conversation that we are having right now. You see what I'm saying? This conversation we're having should be the conversation everybody is having. Everybody should be asking all of these questions. Everybody should be highlighting all of it. But instead of that, people are focusing more on how could the government cancel. I was one of them. When I first heard the story, I was saying, oh, the government this, the government that, this and that, whatever. Then that woman, the Ghanaian lady, came on the show and then gave me some perspective. And now I have full perspective. I have a caller here. Let me bring a caller in here. Give me a second. Hello, my golden life. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks for this show, Merck. Hi, Chosen One. Hi, Mike. I'm a big fan of your show, Mike. Thanks so much. Yeah, my heart is just sinking. My biggest concern is that this has now tainted somewhat the Pan-African movement, and people are going to be pointing their fingers to this moment, and it's really going to cheapen the movement. And what if we have another? We want to have another big event in the future. We're going to have problems getting reputable, credible people coming together,
show
because
up,
now
yeah.
there's a suspicion that, oh, what janky charlatan is behind, organizing this conference now. It's just, yeah. And Mike, I agree so much with you that we really need to hold Pan-Africanism sacred, and just push for, I don't know, there's always the danger that you could be extremist with anything, but we really need to hold this as a really sacred philosophy, to bring Black people together and just to unite us, for our own sake. I mean, if Africa is strong and Africa is united, then Black people all over the world, their value lifts. But looking at what's going on right now, we're clowns. We're all clowns. The world sees us as clowns.
As clowns, yeah. No, I mean, it's yes. I think that is what is upsetting to me, because I have to put this story out for our sake. But when I put this story out, the number of white folks who are going to be in the comments laughing,
Yep.
they're just going to be laughing,
Yeah.
because they're just like, wait a minute, an Instagram model managed to come to your country in Africa and lead your movement.
And they should be laughing. They should be laughing.
Yeah.
They're going to be like,
really
how did you let
embarrassing.
that happen? I mean, that's how they're going to be thinking, because they're like, these people who keep screaming about Pan-Africa, Africa United, somehow managed to allow. And do you know what's even worse with this story? Is when you look at that interview of this Bediako guy trying to justify his decision.
Yeah. That's
And he's
really
speaking
bad.
with his little pin, he's talking like this. I'm like,
You rip that pin off. Just rip that pin off. Rip it off.
I'd rip his shirt. Have you seen Cobra with Sylvester Stallone? Okay, there's a scene in Cobra where the guy is by his back. Stallone doesn't even speak to him. He just gets his vest and just rips the vest and walks off.
Yeah.
That is what this guy deserves. Because I'm sitting there thinking that, do you know the level of people you brought to Africa? Do Do you know the level of people you brought there? And you were using them in some kind of weird promotional, weird thing. Do you know what? Listen,
with your white girlfriend.
with your white girlfriend. Do you know that if I could even get to talk to Malema in an interview, just him, do you know how big a deal that is? If you could get to have an interview with Peter Obi right now, after that election that we just had, do you know how big a deal that is?
Yeah.
You managed to get 4 people to fly to your country. And this is what you do. Honestly, like it is just it's shocking.
And right now when I'm looking for that video, I couldn't find it. But this guy is on a media run, as in I've seen like.
Oh, wait a minute.
different-
The father is on a media run.
No, not the father.
The Nana.
Yeah.
Okay, Bediako, okay.
He's in a media run. He's doing interviews. He's eating this up. The publicity. You know, for him, any
Right,
publicity is good. People know him. They're talking about him. There is pictures. Is everywhere. As in, he achieved what he went to achieve. His goal wasn't about Pan-Africanism or those bringing those big
It was
hitters.
publicity, right? It was publicity.
And the Ghanaian government cancelling the event is even more publicity. You get. So at the end of the day, I think he's enjoying.
You know
Is
what?
there a
This is
way?
Yeah, go on.
Question: is there a way to bash this guy without speaking his name too much? Because
Like for me, like I'm not even mentioning his name.
it's
Just saying the
so-
guy.
it's
bash
so
what
hard.
he did, but not give him all the accolades and give him all the publicity. Just bash the heck out of what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I think that's what I'll try and do. I think part of the problem is that I don't want anybody to make a mistake as to who we're talking about. That's the thing. I just don't want you to be confused. You know, so when you do see the actual, this is the reason why I say this. My audiences are very different, right? My YouTube audience are Black Americans. That's my YouTube audience. Like primarily, like 90% of them are like in the UK, but mainly in the US. My Instagram is US as well, US and UK. But my TikTok audience are primarily in Africa, Middle East, all of these sort of regions, but primarily Africa. And the kinds of people that follow me on TikTok that I would put this out to, these are regular people. I'm talking like on the streets of Lagos, Kenya, Ghana. These are some regular guys who won't necessarily have the same kind of discernment that you just take for granted. So if you just put out something and you don't spell out exactly who you're talking about, what happened, when it happened, they won't know
You have
what
to mention the name.
you literally have to walk them step by step of this is what happened, this is who it is, this is what, because they are not living a life where once they watch the video they go online to do research. They're not.
And Mikey, that publicity, even though bad publicity might be still publicity, that could backfire on him eventually. So I would mention the name. We'll see what happens. He might be enjoying it now. He might be enjoying it now, but we'll see in a few weeks.
For me, it's like that never really worked out for Trump because I think the
He became president though. He got the presidency.
And there's a
might get it again.
there's a very high chance.
Mikey, no. Listen, Mikey, this is the thing. I'm glad you used Trump as an example. You're looking at the long game. I'm saying that in short term, this guy just wants to be president.
Yeah.
So the fact is, if he plays the cards right, he could become president of Ghana. So who cares about the long game where 10 years down the line, people say, oh, he was a bad president. He doesn't care about that. He's like, I want that seat right now. When he gets there, he's going to have his uniform like we saw. He's going to have his shades with the medals. He's going to have all the pin and the thing. He's going to style himself as a modern day African messiah.
Yep.
It is our job to make sure that doesn't happen.
True.
That's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. Because now, the more that I found out about this, I'm like, I don't like this guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I'm happy for you. When he gets my videos, I'm like, call me. If I had a conversation with him, I would love you to come on the show.
Oh, he would never. He would never.
I will assassinate your reputation. Come on this show. I will finish him. Finished. Because this is not a debate. I will just talk to you like a guy who grew up in Nigeria, who had the opportunity, and I call it an opportunity, not the, oh, I went through things. This is why I love how I grew up in that sense. There were two very important things that happened to me. I was a privileged guy who my family had money, we had stuff. But I went to primary school in Nigeria and I went to secondary school in Nigeria. And the secondary school that I went to was in University of Lagos. So I was not in like Victoria Island or Ikoyi. I went to the University of Lagos to go to secondary school. And we used to go to the village every year. Every year we went to the village. So I got some perspective that some guys in my position probably wouldn't have had. So I was able to see things from, I'm living a cushy life, but at the same time, when I was going to secondary school, for example, I leave Victoria Island where I was living. And by the time I get to school, you're seeing my students, my classmates, some of them were struggling. You know what I mean? They were struggling. They didn't come from where I came from. And I would see what they would have to do after school. And I'm going to go and play computer. These people, some of them had to go and walk. Some of them, there were things that they were going through. And that, at a very young age, gave me perspective on the average Nigerian's life. It is not an abstract thing for me. It's like I could see it and I could say that, you know what, my God, just by the grace of God, I could have been born in his life.
Yep.
I could have easily been that guy, So when I see people like this, when I saw the interview and he's talking about, and I went to England to go to school, and then when I came back, I wanted to come home, and I wanted to come, as if you're doing them a favor. That, I decided that, after my achievements, I wanted to come, and I said, and I made a decision. This guy, it's your duty to do it. It's not an honor for the country. That's what you're supposed to do. So if you're doing it, you shouldn't even be talking like that. It's like, this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to go back to Ghana and figure out how to use what you've learned to help folks. Nobody should be clapping for you for that. And for me, when we have these sort of panels and we have these conversations, I'm frustrated because of how hard we are working to uplift people and to unify people. People like this make it more difficult for that. Yeah. It just makes it harder. Because do you know what this guy could have done? He could have put in front of his movement a black, dark-skinned Ghanaian woman. That's what he could have done. We would still be having the same arguments about as far as the motivations for the party and the movement. We still have that. But at least a lot of black women in Africa would have been able to see somebody that looked like them promoting the future of Africa. And that is a marketing tool in and of it. He says he's a marketing genius, right? He's a marketing guy. Forget it. You can't find anybody in Africa. Go to Black America. You think you could not find a Black American woman to front your Pan-African movement? You think you could not find an American woman to front your movement? He could put an ad out today. By tonight, he will have 5,000 applications. Yeah. Do you know what Black America would feel like if an African potential presidential candidate is looking for a black woman from America, to be the spokesperson for an African political movement? You would have 10,000 applications. You will have guys pretending to be women to apply. I didn't mean anything by that, by the way, so don't nobody take that any side away. I'm just saying that's the level of stuff that will be going on. And you say that you can't find somebody. You see, this is the reason why I put all this sort of talk, because I'm emotional about this, and that's why I put it behind the lives, because I don't try and put this in the videos, I put it in the lives, because this is why I try not to talk. I try not to talk too much because I get annoyed. Because I saw what he did. And a video that I have coming, by the way, is like, I wanted to do something about protecting Captain Traore, okay? And I don't feel that we are putting enough light on him for his own safety. And this is for his safety. So I wanted to start putting a bigger spotlight on him so that it's harder for people to mess with him. So while I'm trying to develop that, I then see this guy's video. That's why I'm annoyed, because I'm saying that Nana Bediako, how about you go and bring Captain Traore to Ghana to talk? How about that?
Yeah.
How about you bring the Mali guy to talk? You're talking about Pan-African movement.
Yeah.
That's who I'm inviting. Bring the Mali, Guinea, Niger, and Burkina Faso presidents. Bring them to Ghana.
He won't do that.
He'll never do that, because when Captain Traore sees that guy, well, what he's about,
Yeah,
he'll be like, wait a minute.
He'll refuse. Trevor.
He'll refuse.
Like are we allowed to curse on your show?
Go ahead. I mean, we're deep. We're deep.
Did you see the bullshit a mile away? Totally.
A mile away. Because when I listen to Captain Traore's speeches, it's translated from French, obviously, and you listen to what he's saying, you're like, damn, man, this guy's 35. He's 35 years old.
Yeah, definitely.
A guy that has fully synthesized what is wrong. This guy, you know that he's now banned, his French is now no longer the official language of Burkina Faso.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Very nice.
Do you know the impact of that? When you say, it's like Nigeria saying English is no longer the official language of Nigeria anymore. You know, Nigerians would just be like, oh, damn, like what? Like what? We'd be confused. But this is the thing, and this, I'll say this, and I'll give it to the panel. Let me tell you something about Nigerians. Nigerians are the last people to give a Captain Traore to. Don't do it. If you dare do something like that, it's game over.
When you say last, you mean you can't do that right now?
You don't want to risk doing that. Nigerians' problem is no direction, no focus. All the fire, the energy, the resources, the talents, everything is there. The problem with Nigeria is that don't you make the mistake of giving them somebody to focus that energy on. We've never had that. We've never had a Captain Traore. We've never had somebody like that. So it's like, if you give us that guy, where a guy comes out and says, I am willing to die for saving Nigeria. I'm willing to go, and he does all the things. For example, he comes out and he does, like, let us take what Captain Traore did and transpose that to Nigeria. He comes out and he says, we're refining our own oil in Nigeria. I'm going to do a deal with Putin to get our own oil refineries up to snuff. Then we're going to do our own energy, and all our resources are going to get refined here. We're removing English.
The contracts for BP and Shell's scrapped.
All of the contracts are scrapped. Everything. And then we're also going to expel the ambassador of Britain. We're expelling the ambassador. Do you know?
And the military base in the US also expelled.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is that we don't even have military bases in Nigeria. So that's just one good point. But the thing is of foreign nations. But what I'm saying is that if you gave Nigerians a taste of that, Nigeria already has that which is why Peter Obi got so far so quickly. What Nigerians just need is somebody to say what they're feeling in public and tell them that this is who you need to get. Once you give them that focus, the difference between Nigerians and other African countries is that Nigerians are really crazy people. Like they're really crazy people. Like they're willing en masse to do things that other guys will probably be like, guys, I think we should slow down. They're willing to do it. The problem is that, again, we just do not have any focus. So when you look at the Igbos, for example, and the fight that they're having for Biafra and so on and so on, I was like, if you took all this energy that we have as a community and you focused it on a Captain Traore, which is why I use him as an example, because his personality, I was like, this is the type of person Nigeria requires. This is the type of guy. Because Nigerians, it's like, once we get like the smell of blood, like it's like, oh, there's blood in the water.
So like a good example, it's Nigeria can easily do what Singapore did, even less time. In less time, because the only thing that saved Singapore, that it's not a Vietnam, it's not a Bangladesh, it's who was their leader. that guy, they wanted to assassinate him. They wanted to, it's called what, this special ops. They wanted to get rid of him.
Right.
But if they didn't, look at Singapore now. It's like it's called economic hub of Asia, right? So
Yeah, but you know
so
what is
imagine
saving?
Nigeria.
Yeah, but what is saving Captain Traore, and why I said that Nigeria needs somebody like that, is that if Captain Traore was on his own, he would be in way more danger. It's because Mali, Guinea, Burkina, and Niger have
Yeah.
also now got people who are aligned with that same mentality. The problem that France have is that we cannot get away with removing all of them.
Yeah.
We can't. It's very difficult. It's like, how do you now assassinate or remove all of these guys? It's too many.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
realize that if we even go after any of these guys, we have to be so careful about it, because we could create more copycat people who will now come through.
Not could, as in the moment one of those guys is taken out, Goita, Ibrahim, like the moment one of that person is assassination, I promise you 5 more coups in West Africa, 5 more coups, starting with Ivory Coast, Senegal, which one else, Equatorial Guinea, like even, and also Cameroon is this thing.
Cameroon is on the verge. That's on the
Cameroon,
verge as well.
so I'm telling you, as in France has realized, the moment they just continue disturbing that nest,
Yes.
that's building, that beehive,
Yes.
like it will cascade. You know, right now it's like the momentum was going high. Now it's kind of leveling out, right? People are settling in.
They're
Okay, what
settling
happened?
down. Yes.
These are our cards. These are the like what we got. We got
Right.
four countries, right? I'm telling
Right.
you, if something is unstable over there, like it's from 4, it will be 10.
It will
And
be
the whole-
no. And listen, do you know what the key is? And I keep saying this: Nigeria. I'm telling you, and everybody is very nervous because they're like, if Nigeria have a coup, and somebody comes in and that guy is anything like Captain Traore is, Africa is in big trouble, because what's going to happen? South Africa will look at that. I'm not even talking about other countries, specifically South Africa will look at that and be like, wait a second, because you know, South Africa and Nigeria, it's because of the British influence that connects the two countries. Same with Ghana as well, as a former British colony. So all the British colonies, why Britain are sweating, in my opinion, the British former colonies haven't yet cottoned onto this yet. They haven't yet started doing this. Kenya is another one. Uganda. These are all the British people. When one of these former British colonies now start moving in this radical, I don't even want to call it radical, this direction of deconstructing neocolonialism, it's going to be a domino effect. It's just going to be like a domino effect. And you will never be able to walk it back. And the thing I look at Nigeria as the heart of this is because of just the sheer amount of cultural, mineral resources that it commands. Because the culture of, like, Nigerian music now is the music of the world at this point. Like that's what we're looking at this stage. You know, things like that. That's just the cultural impact of Nigeria deciding that we're not doing this anymore. I feel that as a community, our job is to continue to have these conversations, is to continue to put this stuff out there. I think that the reason why, you know, it's these lives that we've done now have gotten so much interest is because people are really ready to have these conversations. People are really excited about the fact that people are getting called out. I actually feel like, I don't know if you guys, do you know who Cameron is? The rapper.
Cameron.
Yeah. He said,
the rapper,
basically, he went viral last week because he said that he's not an African American, he's American. He's a Black American. Because he said that Africa don't really care about them and like they don't want to have anything to do with them anyway. And he doesn't view himself as African, blah, blah, blah. And there was another person, I think, anyway, some people have been saying that. And then there's a group of Africans who have been going along with that. That is how do I put it? I don't want to lose the focus on how important Black America is to this entire conversation. I think that Africans haven't done a good enough job of letting Black America understand that not only are you welcome, you are actually necessary for this conversation. I do that a lot, and I think that's the reason why I have such a big following in that community, is that I've tried to let Black America understand that we're not even saying that, hey, we'll tolerate you in the conversation, but keep your mouth shut. We're saying that you are actually in my opinion, the most important piece of the conversation. I think because of the amount of wealth they control, but forget even the wealth, it's what's going on in their minds. Black America, because of what they've experienced, are the most aware of what needs to happen for this entire movement to work. Because us as Africans, we're in it. We're like so we don't even have any perspective because you're sort of in the middle of the whole thing. So you don't really you can't really see from the outside of like, well, a Black American is like, listen, I know exactly what the West is doing because I'm in the West. I can see what these people are planning. I can see what they're doing. So this is what you should be aware of. This is what you have to be careful of. And I definitely want to make sure that, for me, this is my goal, is to continue to strengthen the bridges between Black America and Africa. That is what I really want to do. And Black Britain and Black UK and Europe and Africa, is that I want them to understand that you guys are very, very, very important to what we're doing. Your support is important. Your activism is important. And we hope that one day you guys will actually come home. Like, you guys will actually start coming back to Africa.
Guess what? For me, my concept has always been that, like in the future, like when Africa, we unite in the future, there'll be like 6 regions. There's East Africa, South Africa, West Africa, North Africa, Central Africa, and then there'll be diaspora Africa. We are just not the US and the Caribbean, right?
Right.
Haiti, all of those would be a region. You get, as in it will be an arm, right? Like even for me, I would want the African Americans to stay there so that they can start returning the wealth back, right? Yeah, because for me, I always say, like reparation, unless we get it by war, I don't see any white person giving us what they took from us. So for me, the best way is that if the African Americans are there, can you imagine, just like this is a good example, like how many rappers, entertainers, how much money do they give to Uncle Sam a year? Just the rappers and entertainers,
just taxes, billions.
So imagine if there's a way that somebody can declare, I declare myself as a 6th region of the African continent, and my part of my wealth directly goes to support that economy, not this economy.
Listen,
citizenship.
I'll even go simpler. Let me even make it more simple. Imagine if you go to America and you set up a charity. We know that, listen, let me not give away everything, but you set up a certain thing that can receive certain things, where certain things don't have to go to certain areas where certain things happen. Do you know you would literally have 100 billion a year to just play with?
Yeah.
You'd have 100 billion. Let's be conservative, 20 billion a year to just play with. These are things that could easily be done, but nobody wants to do it. But the more conversations that we have like this, the easier it would be for when a celebrity in America says, hey, look at me, I'm donating, I'm doing this. People will call them and be like, listen, this is not, doesn't mean anything. This isn't going to have any real impact. If you really want to help, go and watch this video here. Go and watch that video here. This is what you could be doing. Then they have to then take accountability for their decisions. Because in reality, and I'll close with this because I know we've got to now shut the show down, but in reality, the biggest obstacle to everything is ignorance for us. It's just ignorance. Most people just don't know. They just don't know. And when you don't know, it's easy for you to get manipulated by people who do know. Because Cat Williams said something that was very powerful, and I said it in the last show, where he said, the enemy of Black and African people never lost sight of the identity and the truth about African people. The people who lost their identity and the truth are African people. So the people who are lying to you, they're not lying because they do not know what the truth actually is. They know. The issue is that you don't know. And they're never going to tell you the truth. So you need to go out of your way to educate yourselves about the truth about your own people and your heritage and your history. And as I said, if you have children, you have families, only a psychopathic, did you hear what I said? I didn't say a crazy person. I didn't say a confused person. I said a psycho. Only a psychopathic Black or African person sends their children to European schools to get educated. You have to be a psychopath. Because now that I know what I know, there ain't no way I'm doing that. Because that is just indoctrination. It's like, there is no way I'm doing that. So we need to take responsibility for ourselves and just be like, we would not be in a position like this where this man is bringing Instagram Kim Kardashian to come and be fronting Pan-African movement, and we'd be upset if we knew what the hell was going on. To say this is an announcement, guys. By the way, everybody, I said this in a show I did. I'm working on books on African history. One of my biggest hits is called The True Origin of Nigeria, The True History of Africa, The True Size of Africa, and so forth. And I decided that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create books that will be able to be disseminated across my entire platform about the history of African countries. I'm going to do a handbook about going back to Africa. And I'm going to create a bundle package. As I said to people who are paying members of my Patreon are going to get the package for free, depending on what tier you're on. If you're on my tiers in the newsletter, I'm going to give you the books for free. And I'm going to get a nice price point for everybody to get the books as a bundle. 5 books. History of Nigeria, Ethiopia. Who are them? I did a poll and they voted for, and I'll go back to the poll, but I've got like 4 different ones and a handbook of going back to Africa for everybody, because I think our ignorance is part of our problem. So once that is ready, I'm going to let everybody know where to get those things. If you're on my platforms, you'll get them. Anyway, I'll give you guys final words. What are your final words?
I do have to take a meeting, so I do have to bow out. But this was very good talk. We'll see what happens. I think if we put a nice spotlight on everything this guy did wrong, Nana, my guy Nana, I think if we do that, I think some of that publicity that Mike spoke to will turn to very, very bad publicity for him, and he'll think twice about doing that again. But Mike, thank you for that. This made my morning. My morning was very, it wasn't colorful until this. So thank you for that, Mike. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, Mike, as well. Do you want any last words before I let you go?
Yeah. So my take is that, as I say, always ask questions. It's free. Ask questions. Google is free. Like I always say that. Like every time somebody usually like says something ignorant, I always reply with Google is free. They always think I'm like sarcastic, right? But I'm actually telling you, you can just go research these things, and before you just follow what people are saying, people are doing, bashing the government, bashing the what. Like nobody's perfect, right? But just don't, as in, look at the information. Then now you can go and do what you want. So yeah, we should really safeguard Pan-Africanism. It's now the in thing. Politicians have learned.
We have to
If I just
safeguard it, yes.
if I shout Pan-Africanism, I easily get voted in, or I've got
Exactly.
this set amount of demographic, right? So
Right.
let's learn to safeguard it, know who are the fake people who are using it,
Exactly.
and who are genuinely like
Interested in what we're doing. Exactly. No, 100%.
like with solutions, like dreams, but with also solutions, right?
Thank you.
Like actionable solutions.
So I want to say thank you to Tuna Cheki. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to that channel, you must be subscribed. I'm a follower of that channel, a subscriber. They give you great information daily. If you want to be up to date, he's a person to follow. Like I said, he's the reason I know about some of this information that I brought to you today. So this guy is definitely the real deal. So you should follow him. Thank you so much. Now, thank you guys. This is the end of the show. Thank you to everybody who joined. Like I said, you can go to the merc.io to join my newsletter, to join the Patreon if you be so kind. If you like what I do, you want to contribute, you want to support, this stuff isn't free. You know, this stuff takes time and effort. So I'd be very grateful for your financial support if you become a member to my Patreon or a member on the newsletter, and you'd obviously get material in the newsletter as well. So definitely go to the merc.io. You will see the links on there to the newsletter and the Patreon. Other than that, guys, you know what? Listen, fantastic show again. Thank you to everybody for this one. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy having these conversations with you all. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. And